Okay, so this is my little test game, and see the character running around, and there I'm going into the walk motion, back into the run, holding down the key for the walk, and there's my attacks. He slows down, and I can keep bashing the button, and he'll keep throwing attacks and throwing the punch. Um, and you can actually see the crowd guys walking around, and you can see them screwing up here and there, and so there's my hit attack, and I've got a particle system on there currently, just so I can see what's happening visually. They um, the actual projectiles and things will be invisible when if I've got it set up properly. And there's the punch, and the punch gets registered, and the kick gets registered separately, and the guys get killed. So currently, I don't actually have them set up, um, have the enemy set up doing much. They just kind of walk to you and stop, and so you can see there isn't really a range, so you can't get like you can see the kick fly past, and there should be a hit there, but there isn't. So that's part of the setup where you need to actually probably trace into some different directions. And the way I had it originally worked pretty well with the three trace directions, which is the straight forward, and then to each side about 40 or 45 degrees or so. Seems to work fairly decently. Um, so yeah, I mean, you can see when I run around, the rotations are not smooth. That's something I haven't really figured out yet. I did try one version where I use the anim tree to set orientations and just push the pawn around in directions and never actually rotating the pawn itself. And that actually worked pretty good while you're running, but as soon as you stop, you'll flip into that position, and that's because the pawn itself never actually rotates, so it blends back to 0. So when you push down, it blends to 180, and that works. But as soon as you let go, uh, it, that event stops and resets back to 0. Um, because you're no longer moving, it sets back to 0 and it blends back to 0. So the blend worked, but as soon as you stop, it will always blend back to 0, which is no good. And I couldn't find a way of blending it and then setting the pawn orientation without affecting the character. So I actually would blend it across, then set the orientation, but it would kind of pop around, which is no good. And of course, the other way of doing it is to actually blend the orientation through a multiplier loop or something like that, where you blend into a new orientation. But yeah, I haven't been able to actually figure out how that really works and how that really needs to work, and how the math of it all really works to go from any orientation into any other orientation. I can go from one to one other one, but I can't go from one to a random other one. I just don't have the knowledge of that kind of I'll say scripting. It's something it could be possible in Kismet. I just don't really know exactly how to accomplish that. And then you'll also see the attacks are not blended, which is because they'll run through Matinee. I am not sure if they can be blended through Matinee. I think they can't. and I'm not 100% sure how to call them. Like out of if you add them into the anim tree somehow, if you can call them. I know through script you can call animations, and uh, within the I think it's play anim or something like that inside the script, and then within that same function you can specify blend times and all that kind of stuff, and I know you can do that. We did that in the Bounty Arms demo that we did a few years back, and but this is a Kismet project, and I'm trying to do every single thing through Kismet, and I haven't really found a way to actually do animation blends directly through Kismet, or using Matinee in some way or something like that. Calling any animation on top of any other animation and having them blend. I don't know if there is a way to do that. So yeah, and as you can see, the hair doesn't flow, which I mean it is actually set up on the pawn to be enabled and use the physics asset and all that stuff, but as I mentioned before in the previous videos, it doesn't actually work, and I have no idea how to make it work on the mobile placeable pawn there. So yep, so that's it. That's what it actually looks like. That's what it actually plays like, and so there you can fall down the ledge, and the falling kind of works, and you can see him going into the falling animation a little bit there. It doesn't really fall far enough. You can see the falling isn't great. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look physically right. And that's on the straight down fall without pushing any buttons. No, so I haven't been able to figure out where to tweak the gravity direction, directly related to the pawn itself. I can tweak the world gravity, which affects everything, which is bad. In the scripted pawn, you can tweak it directly in the script. In the mobile placeable pawn, there doesn't seem to be a place to do it. It probably would have to be done in the script as well, which again, that involves scripting, which I want to stay away from completely. I want to purely do this with default UDK installation and Kismet. So if I can't find a solution like that, then there's no solution for it. But yeah, so I think that's it.